Hey guys, welcome back to Season 2 of Organized Chaos Permission Granted. Guys, today is April 22nd. Last year at this time, I decided that April 22nd would be my chosen birthday. If you know, I'm adopted, so I have my given birthday that was given to me at the orphanage, and then this time last year, I picked a chosen birthday after doing human design at Kathy Heller's Bloom Retreat. And learning all about that is definitely a Manifesting Monday story that I need to share with you sometime. But when I wanted to jump on here to say is that last year at this time was the first time I had my first podcast interview with Charlotte Jukes on her podcast, Pickleball and Partnership. And I would love for you to check it out. And it is an episode, and I'll put it in the show notes. Now, a year later, I have launched a podcast. I have over 50 episodes, and the episode we're about to jump into is my good friend Linda Brand is interviewing me on her podcast, Worthy and Abundant, and to hear where I was a year ago and now. Yes, some of the questions are similar, but at the same time, I love hearing the growth from then and now. It truly is transformational, and I'm so freaking proud of myself. I'm so thankful for all of you, and remember, if you're ready to schedule an energy reading, I am so ready to serve you. Those are one-on-one 20-minute private Zoom calls with me where I tap into your energy, channel a message that Spirit wants me to deliver to you. They are gentle, kind, and loving. We will also pull cards. They are refreshing and aligned and abundant. So if you're ready, reach out. And let's go ahead and jump into today's episode with Linda Brand on Worthy and Abundant. I hope you enjoy it. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.
Welcome to Worthy and Abundant, the podcast for people who are ready to remember who they truly are and create lives and businesses they love living. I am your host, Linda Brand, a certified life coach, an intuitive, a spiritual student of Kabbalah, and a lifelong learner, global real estate advisor, entrepreneur of over 30 years, single mother, dog mom, animal advocate, child advocate, and the founder of the Worthy and Abundant podcast. After overcoming many challenges and completely reinventing my life, I discovered so much. We are all inherently worthy. We are worthy of love, purpose, and abundance. On this show, we talk about self-worth, self-love, healing, manifestation, spirituality, and living in alignment with your soul, with your highest self, with your authentic self. If you are ready to step into your power and remember that you are already worthy and abundance is your birthright, you are in the right place. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to Worthy and Abundant, the podcast. I'm so grateful you're here. It means the world to me that you're here listening. Today, I'm joined by the inspiring Shabana Knight, podcast host, coach, mother, and a woman whose life story is one of resilience, healing, and transformation. Shabana is the host of the podcast Organized Chaos with Shabana, where real life meets reflection, healing, and personal growth. She was born in India and adopted into the United States after being found at a train station as a young child. Shabana's life story is one of transformation and deep self-discovery. Today, she lives in the Pacific Northwest with her husband of 18 years and their 3 teenagers, embracing a life that blends family, creativity, and purpose. In 2025, more than 3 decades later, Shabana returned to India to reconnect with her roots and visit the orphanage where her journey began. Shabana's professional path reflects her passion for helping others transform their lives from the inside out. She spent over a decade as a personal trainer, helping women strengthen their bodies, which naturally expanded into life coaching and later into helping people declutter and create peaceful, organized, and aligned homes. Through her podcast, she shares stories of resilience, healing, and the power of embracing your own journey. Shabana believes every story holds meaning, and when we share our experiences openly, we create deeper connection, hope, and transformation for others. Welcome, Shabana, to the show. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I just love your energy and your smile, and I open social media and I see you, and I'm like, she's so lit up, and you're just really just so energetic lately. I love it. I love that you're shining. So tell us, your story is so incredibly powerful. I am your host, Linda Brand, a certified life coach, an intuitive, a spiritual student of Kabbalah, and a lifelong learner, global real estate advisor, entrepreneur of over 30 years, single mother, dog mom, animal advocate, child advocate, and the founder of the Worthy and Abundant podcast. After overcoming many challenges and completely reinventing my life, I discovered so much. We are all inherently worthy. We are worthy of love, purpose, and abundance. On this show, we talk about self-worth, self-love, healing, manifestation, spirituality, and living in alignment with your soul, with your highest self, with your authentic self. If you are ready to step into your power and remember that you are already worthy and abundance is your birthright, you are in the right place. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to Worthy and Abundant, the podcast. I'm so grateful you're here. It means the world to me that you're here listening. Today, I'm joined by the inspiring Shabana Knight, podcast host, coach, mother, and a woman whose life story is one of resilience, healing, and transformation. Shabana is the host of the podcast Organized Chaos with Shabana, where real life meets reflection, healing, and personal growth. She was born in India and adopted into the United States after being found at a train station as a young child. Shabana's life story is one of transformation and deep self-discovery. Today, she lives in the Pacific Northwest with her husband of 18 years and their 3 teenagers, embracing a life that blends family, creativity, and purpose. In 2025, more than 3 decades later, Shabana returned to India to reconnect with her roots and visit the orphanage where her journey began. Shabana's professional path reflects her passion for helping others transform their lives from the inside out. She spent over a decade as a personal trainer, helping women strengthen their bodies, which naturally expanded into life coaching and later into helping people declutter and create peaceful, organized, and aligned homes. Through her podcast, she shares stories of resilience, healing, and the power of embracing your own journey. Shabana believes every story holds meaning, and when we share our experiences openly, we create deeper connection, hope, and transformation for others. Welcome, Shabana, to the show. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I just love your energy and your smile, and I open social media and I see you, and I'm like, she's so lit up, and you're just really just so energetic lately. I love it. I love that you're shining. So tell us, your story is so incredibly powerful. For those meeting you for the first time, can you share a little bit about your journey and what brought you into the space of podcasting and the Organized Chaos? What exactly is that?
Yeah, I'll start from the beginning. Like Linda already mentioned, my story begins in faraway land. So at the time, I was 2 years old and my brother was 4 years old at the time. And we're at a busy train station in India, and we get separated from our parents, we assume, and a police officer finds us and realizes that there's no parents or guardian with us, and he places us in an orphanage. We're there for about 1.5 years and then eventually get adopted, and we stay in the same family. We grow up on the East Coast. So I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, very loving, amazing family. And then eventually I go to school in Texas. I meet my husband, and we live in the Pacific Northwest, and we've been married for 18 years, and we have 3 teenagers. And then eventually I actually did like childcare for a long time, and then eventually became a personal trainer, and then eventually did decluttering and organizing. And then now I have a podcast, and everything just keeps evolving. But podcasting wise, it is called Organized Chaos, Stories with Shabana. But I just launched season 2 of my podcast, and it's called Organized Chaos, Permission Granted. And I love this idea that as women, we are the permission slip, and we are also the ones that we sign off on the permission slip, whether it's for our kids or for ourselves or for other women, but we're the ones that give the permission. We're the ones that say permission granted, and we need to walk out in that authority to make the changes in our lives and to do the things. And with that, like, I just want to give more permission for women to step up to the plate and do the things that we're called to do, however that may look in our lives individually and stuff. And so in general, with Organized Chaos, I feel like that's just the reason why I called my podcast Organized Chaos. Is it reminds me of India. If any of your listeners have ever been to India, they have the streets there are like, let's say there's 5-lane highways, but there's 8 lanes of traffic, and you like don't really see any car accidents at all. It's insane. It's literally organized chaos. And I feel like you see more accidents here in the US than you do in India. Like, it's crazy. And so that was like the inspiration for my podcast, was literally Organized Chaos, looking at how they do traffic in India.
Wow, that's funny. That's interesting, ironic. So I have so many questions. What led you into the organizing homes?
So a long time ago, probably like 10 years ago, I was at my mother-in-law's house, and my husband is the oldest of 6 boys, and I was trying to get ready for a wedding. It was one of his brother's weddings and stuff, and I was trying to get ready at my mother-in-law's house, and there was stuff everywhere, and I was so overwhelmed, and I like had to leave her house to go somewhere else to actually get ready for this wedding, to get dressed and do my hair and makeup and stuff. And later my mother-in-law was like, what's wrong? Like, why did you have to leave? And I was like, your house is a mess. I can't like physically get ready at your house. And it like woke up in her, and she was like, oh, I didn't like even realize it. Because you know when you go to someone's house and their house is so messy, they don't even realize how bad it is because they're living in the mess. It woke up in her that she had to like finally start decluttering and stuff like that. And then I started helping her start decluttering her house. And she took the next, I would say, year or so. And she really started purging her house, making it livable, realizing that she didn't even like the space she was living in. And that inspired her. And then it was this awakeness in me that I was like, oh my gosh, if I can help her, I can help other people. And I can start like making money and doing this. And it was one of those things that like, okay, my kids are in school for only this amount of hours. How can I like just work part-time and do this? And then I just turned it into a business because I realized how much I loved doing it, how much I loved helping people.
That's amazing.
How it could be part-time. So
that's so great, because I'm an Aries, but I have a Virgo moon and Taurus rising, but the Virgo loves organization, loves everything a certain way. So it's like I have these, I just love that. And I love seeing on your social media, all your transformation when you go into a client's home. It's amazing. So tell us, let's go back to the India story real quick, because that's so powerful. Like we talk about generational trauma and things, and you basically as a small child were abandoned ultimately. Yeah. And so how has that beginning shaped your identity and your life journey?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like in the younger years and throughout, let's say, middle school and high school and stuff like that, having those abandonment issues really made me want to find my identity in relationships, especially like in boys and stuff like that. So really clinging into, oh, he thinks I'm cute, or oh, let's give away pieces here and there and stuff like that. So just honestly, just a lot of broken relationships and giving away pieces of me way too early. And then also just a lot of like rejection and stuff like that. So it was really hard for me to have close girlfriends in my life. And I was the type of person that I tried so hard to be friends with everyone that I think at times it like pushed people away, and just struggled a lot with my identity and stuff like that. Like it would be so easy for me to be friends with like boys and like guys and stuff like that, but it was hard for me to have like really good like girlfriends and stuff like that.
Was it hard for you to trust people?
It was hard for me to, I feel like it was hard for me to trust like females, because I don't know, just like too much cattiness or whatever. And it's honestly been like later in my adult life where I finally have like good quality girl friendships that I like and trust. I'm like, oh, you're like a real genuine person. I want to have a good relationship with you. But the younger years were just, they were hard. And then I had a best friend who, she was the neighbor across the street, and we were best friends for so long, but then she moved. And so there was that like, oh, now I have to like, we have to try again. And we stayed like pen pals and best friends, but it's different when your best friend moves, kind of thing. I don't know. It's hard being a kid.
Right. It is, because you have the sense of wanting to belong. And so you learned at a young age that you were adopted. They told you, they were white people?
Yeah.
But you knew you were loved and you were cared for. So you had a great upbringing. It's just that you knew. So what led you back to India and to the orphanage and all of that?
Back in 2017, 2018, this movie came out called Lion, and it literally was like an 80% match of like me and my brother's story. So it's about an Indian boy. He's at a train station. He gets separated from his brother, and he ends up walking the streets of India, and then he ends up at an orphanage, and then he gets adopted, and then he ends up later in the movie, he's like in his 20s, and he's like starts having flashbacks of India. And then he ends up going back to India, and at the end of the movie you actually see him find his like birth mom and stuff like that. But it's such a beautiful movie. It won like all these awards and stuff like that. So I saw that movie like with my dad and my stepmom, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to go back to India. It just sealed it. And at the time, my kids were the ages where when I was left at a train station, and it was just one of those things. I was like, oh my gosh, like how can this happen? Like how did this happen? What is my life? Like it was just one of those, I have to do this. And then I started saving money. I did a GoFundMe. I created the funds. And then COVID hit, everything travel-wise shuts down. And then so it took a couple years until it was like, okay, I'm actually going.
And when did you go?
So then I actually went in 2005, so last year. Yeah,
2025. 2025.
Yeah, 2025.
Okay. Oh, and you returned, and then what emotions came up for you while you were on the trip?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was literally like, I thought I was ready to go back in, let's say, 2018, 2019, but I realized that when I did go in 2025, that's when I was supposed to go. And it was the right time, the right people, the right place, everything. Every time I would just see something or experience something, it would just be flooded with joy. And I had so much growth in all those years. And it was like the right version of me showed up on that trip. And I needed it then as opposed to back then. Just joy. There was so much joy and gratitude and excitement and just fulfillment. I went back to India. I did a 10-day tour with a group. And then at the end, when the tour was over, then a group of 4 of us went to the orphanage. And we were there for like 3 hours, and we got to sit with the director. And then I got to sit one-on-one with her. And she was just like the most loving, caring person. And she's just, tell me about your life. Like, how have you been the last, 36 years? And she just wanted to know everything. And so I pulled out my phone. These are my kids. This is our life. This is what we do. And just tears and tears. And it was so healing and so transformative. It's so just all the emotions you can think of.
That's amazing, because you had such a gift, your parents adopting you, like what a blessing and what a beautiful life you created. And so you are one of the, I don't know how often that really happens for those kids.
I don't know. I'm so fortunate.
Yeah. So many women listening are healing parts of themselves. Like, what has been one of the biggest healing lessons of your life?
I think it's the forgiveness piece. It's choosing to forgive yourself and forgive the people that have come before you, because you really don't, I don't know what was going through my birth parents, my mom and my dad, what was going on in their lives to make them make the decisions that they made to allow my life to, I don't blame them. It is what it is. My life turned out great. I'm thankful. And we all have choices on how we choose to move forward in life, but forgiveness is the biggest thing. And we all have choices.
So how did you learn to feel worthy? Because you were seeking external validation, it sounds, in both relationships. So how did you learn to get past the abandonment and trust that you're worthy just for breathing? Did you have faith? Did you have what did you?
I ended up going to Christian school for 3 years after I did a year of community college, and then I went to a Bible and mission school for 3 years. And it was a really good season of my life. And I'm really thankful that I got to go to it and stuff like that. And it was during that time where I really just shut off the world and I learned more about myself, about spirituality and stuff like that. And I realized just how internal, worthy I am and my identity, and just all of that.
Beautiful.
And just how much I am love and how much I give love and give and receive love, and how we're all that, whether we choose to believe that or not, and just how powerful we are and how amazing and magnificent we all are. And I just choose to walk in that healing love and light everywhere I go. Obviously I've had my seasons of darkness and depression and anxiety and just wrestling with things, but ultimately if I can come back to center and come back to gratitude and thankfulness and worthiness and focus on what we do have, because going back to India last year to now, last year at this time when I got back, it was just one of those things of just coming back to the basics of clean running water. Just if we were thankful just for that each day of having a nice hot shower, that should be enough energy to be thankful all day long. And a refrigerator. We take so much for granted here in the United States. It's ridiculous. But coming from a place of just gratitude and love and thankfulness, and then just the way and just being more generous with our money and stuff like that. And we get so afraid of money. Oh my gosh, I have to make all this money and do all these things. Great, do that, make money, and then go help other people. Seriously.
Exactly. Everyone has the money thing is a charge to it because it's linked to our survival, but and our programming and everything. But
Yeah.
So you mentioned you did have seasons where you felt depressed and anxious and all that. What helped you find yourself again? What helped you reconnect?
I think there is a lot of like stigma or whatever, but I think like the biggest thing was like going to my doctor and getting the support I needed in that regards of just like going on like an antidepressant. That was like a huge help. And then on top of that, like the basics of, okay, am I drinking enough water to stay hydrated? Am I getting enough sleep? Am I getting enough vitamin D and getting outside? Am I exercising? Am I just doing my basic stuff of like, I love to journal. What things like make me happy and am I doing that? And am I also just like having fun? What is fun to me? Is it making sure I go out once a week with a good girlfriend or talking on the phone, spending time with the kids, or just literally what's in front of me and what boosts my energy and what's like vampire sucking and can I do less of those things?
Right. So awareness, right? That's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Awareness is key.
So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing all that with me. I appreciate it. You spent over a decade as a personal trainer helping women strengthen their bodies. What did that chapter teach you about women and confidence?
That's such a good question. It taught me that like literally anything is possible because I've had so many different clients, so many different walks of life, so just everything. And like I had one client who's literally like 77 and just watching her transformation in the gym. And then I have the young mom that's just had a baby and is like 24 trying to lose all this baby weight. Like I've seen so many different transformations and so many different goals and like literally anything is possible. And just to be able, again, it's what is the goal? How can we break it down in bite-sized pieces? And I just absolutely love encouraging people. And like anything, if you have the right support and the right person, you can do anything, and how important it is to have a coach and mentor to help you get there, and how much stronger we are when we have the right support. And support is so important. And invest in yourself.
Yes, we both do that. Yeah, it's so important. So what shifts have happened emotionally when women create peaceful, aligned spaces in their homes?
Ooh, these are such good questions. I'm loving this. Holy crap. So we have a mutual friend, Christine. So last month, like I said, I'm from Seattle, Washington area. And so I flew out to New Jersey where she lives. And I spent about 10 hours at her house decluttering. It was over a 24-hour period. And so I walked into her bedroom and I was like, oh my gosh, as soon as we declutter your bedroom, you're going to have such a huge, amazing energy shift in your business, in your life and everything. So we decluttered her bedroom. It took about maybe 2-3 hours to just do her bedroom. It was pretty scary, and then within that week, she got 12 podcast interviews. Her business is expanding. She's getting more clarity, alignment, just like everything. So our physical clutter just holds so much energy. And once we shift that out of our house, out of our space, we welcome in so much growth and new opportunities and power and strength and wisdom. Decluttering is just, if you want to manifest, literally start decluttering and your life is going to quantum leap. Yeah. I'm such a strong believer, and I didn't realize this until like later on.
It's so true. I've been studying the spiritual stuff of manifestation and all those universal laws for over a decade. And some of the leaders in this industry, they'll say, this is going on in someone's life. Maybe you just need to go clean a drawer or go clean a closet, because that's how you move energy. You create space. You could clean a physical area in your home and then you get a job offer or you meet somebody new.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I had shared in another group about my experience with Christine about decluttering her house and stuff like that. And then she had gotten like all these podcast interviews and all this stuff. And so that inspired someone else, and she had decluttered her apartment that weekend. And the next day, she got 3 brand new clients for her travel offer business thing that she does. And then she got to interview like her fan crush on her podcast. And then something else came up, and she was like just so floored that the power of decluttering like worked so well with what she was trying to manifest. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you.
That's awesome.
This is pure magic.
So tell us, how are you able to juggle all the entrepreneur stuff plus your marriage and family, purpose, growth? How do you do all of it? How do you balance?
I got you. What I love about being an entrepreneur is that you get to make your own schedule and you get to set your own prices. I just do. I get to choose when I work, and because I set my own prices, it doesn't matter. So I just say no to when I want to say no to things. and I make sure I'm at my kids' games. And I honestly, it works because I have such an amazing, supportive husband. I guess that's what it comes down to. We weren't always on the same page, and like life was really hard the first 8 to 10 years of our marriage, and we struggled a lot. But honestly, I felt like those were the years when I was like forcing and having that 9 to 5 job and stuff like that. But now that I don't have the 9 to 5 and I create my own schedule, we can help each other a lot more.
Oh, that's amazing. So it's a true partnership, and he's one of your biggest fans and supporters.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
Then you're very blessed. What has marriage taught you about love, partnership, growth?
That the best way to have the best possible relationship, marriage, all that stuff is that you work on yourself and you don't control and micromanage the other person.
Yeah.
You come first, you take care of yourself, because when you control that person, it doesn't work.
No, we can't control anybody. We can't control anything. All we can do is control our own self, our reactions, all of it. Yeah. What we put in our mouths. And there's minimal things that we can actually control. So
it's true. Well, I definitely believed that lie for so long that I could control him. So I was like, as soon as I let that go and I took care of myself, I was like, oh, that's the jackpot. Take care of myself and work on myself.
How has motherhood shaped you?
I saw this recently, but it was like motherhood exposes you in all the areas that you need to grow and change. And like when you're not a mom, everything's like easy because nothing triggers you. But when you become a mom, your kid like shows you obviously all the areas where you're loving and kind and sweet, but also all the areas where it's, oh, you could go or whatever. But it's helped me to be more patient and kind and loving, but also where I need to have like the better boundaries too.
That's awesome.
I love my kids. There's days.
Right. 3 teenagers. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about manifestation, because I know you like talking about that, and maybe a little more of the self-worth thing, since we're here on Worthy and Abundant, the podcast. So how would you connect self-worth with manifestation?
If you don't think you're worthy for the things you desire, then don't expect them to show up. Just don't.
And what would you say worthy means to you? What would that word?
I would say worthy would be like self-love. Like it would be love and trusting yourself. I don't know. That's a really good question.
I think I like it. I agree. I feel like we are our worst critics, and we've been programmed this way, and I've been doing it for 50 plus years. So it's a practice. Self-love is a practice. It's an ongoing thing, right? Like meditation or working out. You got to do it all the time. Yeah. So
it's a choice.
It's a choice, and it takes effort, right?
Yeah.
So manifestation, what would you say? I heard your story on the podcast about you had a trip planned and then said, I'm going to make this into a business trip. And then you visited Christine and did all that. But how did you manifest all that?
Yeah. So I had last month it was like on Monday, I called my mom. I was just catching up on the phone. And she was like, oh, your nephew is the star in the play. And I was like, wait, what? He's the star in the play? Why didn't anyone tell me? And she's like, we always feel bad because you live so far away and we know it's hard for you to come out. And I was like, what's the play? And she's, it's Aladdin. I was like, that's my favorite play. Why would you guys not tell me? I'm irritated. And she's, let me see if I can get you tickets. And it was literally like the last day to purchase the tickets for the play. And so she was able to get me tickets. I was like, all right, let me go see if I can get flights. So I get on, the play's in less than, at that point, it was 10 days away. And I'm like looking up flights. Granted, it's going to be spring break. The tickets were like over $2,000 for flights. And I was like, no, that's not happening. So then I like found tickets for $1,000 and I was like, okay, I'm doing this. We just got like our tax return. So I booked the flights, and then I told David, I was like, I need this to be like a tax write-off for business purposes, so I have to find someone to declutter for. And he's, well, make it happen. Like, you're great at making stuff happen, so make it happen. I was like, okay. And then I had to go to the store to do something with another kid, and then we had to go to baseball, so I wasn't like in the headspace to think of who could I declutter for on the East Coast. And then literally like within the hour, Christine had messaged me, and she's, hey, how much was it for the plane tickets to come out and declutter? We had talked about this literally 4 months ago. We hadn't talked in general in at least a week or so because she had gotten a new job and she'd been really busy and stuff. And so I was like, wait, what? Are you serious? She's like, yeah, like how much were the tickets? And I was like, I just booked a trip out to the East Coast. She's, seriously, when are you coming? I was like, I'm coming next week. And she's like, oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, I'm going to declutter for you. Like, I need this to work kind of thing. And we found a date, and then my mom was willing to drive me up to New Jersey because we have family up there. So, like, we just made it all work kind of thing.
Amazing.
And I spent 24 hours with her, and it all worked out. And I can put it on my tax write-off and all the things.
Yeah, that's so fun. What else have you manifested recently that you want to share?
Just like in general on that trip, you know how they're always like, it's going to be a full flight. Make sure you like put everything under your seat or in the overhead compartment. Out of all the things, the seat in between, I was a window seat, and then there was a guy on the aisle seat, and the seat in between us was empty. So I was like,
yes, I love that.
And then I was so excited because they gave us Oreo cookies as the snack. And then I was thinking, I was like, oh, I hope the guy next to me doesn't want his Oreo cookies. And he didn't. And so he like gave me his cookies. It's always like these little things that I like, think in my head, and then they like manifest really quickly.
I love that. Mine too. It happens to me too.
Yes. Isn't it? It's so fun. And then
it's a mental universe. Yeah.
The other thing within the last couple of weeks, I was again talking to Christine. She's like my business accountability partner, best friend kind of thing. But I was telling her, I was like, I want to start making more money. And it was like on a Tuesday. And then I walked into a store, and I'm friends with the owner of the store. And he's like, hey, who does your social media? And I was like, I do. Why do you ask? And we're looking for someone to do our social media. And then that ended up into a conversation, and now I run their social media page. So it's just all these things that literally happen so quickly when we put intentions out there, and we're a clear channel, and we're ready to just say yes and try things. So
incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
What would you say to a woman who's listening who feels like her past defines her, or how to stop identifying with what she sees in her 3D reality, like her circumstances?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is community and who you surround yourself with. So if you're not in a community that is encouraging, uplifting, pushes you forward to see better and see further, then you need to first get yourself into a community, whether that's a church group, whether that's joining Kathy Heller's group or Jen Liss's community. You need to be in a supportive community or joining your online school community, things like that, because that has been the biggest area of growth for me, is finding like-minded women who want to push me further, to help me to literally like quantum jump.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah. So that would be my advice, is join a community so you're not stuck seeing your constant 3D.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, because the more I study this stuff in Kabbalah, everything's happening for us. And even when we can't see it that way, and even if it looks like maybe you lost your job, but perhaps you're being led in a better direction. Yes, rejection is protection. Rejection is redirection. And I think we have our own limitations that are in the mind that are not truths. They're not truths, and they're just programming from our upbringing and all of that. So I totally love what you said. Yeah, community is huge. Who you associate with.
And one thing I do want to add to this, the other thing that I have started doing as of last week is I started giving energy readings to people. So one of the readings I gave to someone this morning was, this is like the be still and know, is that like don't negate your own power. So the power of being still and getting still with yourself and getting that divine connection each morning or evening, whenever you can have like your quiet time of journaling and meditating, because that's how you're going to see further and jump into another reality. So you can start manifesting further, is getting those downloads and following those and images. So that's the answer. Make sure you're in a good community and you're taking your personal time to connect with the divine.
Tell us about your personal time. Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? Is it both?
It's definitely both, but recently it's been more in the evenings when finally the house is quiet and my husband's snoring next to me, and I'll be journaling and stuff. And then I'm reading this book. Let me grab it. Oh my gosh, so good. It's called Dollars Flow to Me Easily by Richard Dot.
Okay, Dollars Flow to Me Easily by Richard Dotts.
Yes, and it's a lot about just manifestation and money, and it's like a $10 book off Amazon.
Thank you.
But that's been, I don't know, it's just been good. I love learning and just making my brain bigger. So
yeah, and thinking big is a skill set. Talk to me about how you learned to believe in yourself and where you learned that, and how important believing in yourself, because we know we are masterpieces, we're a piece of the master, we are someone, we are some of the one. And if we don't believe, I know this, that if we don't believe in ourselves, it's like we're not believing in God, because God doesn't make junk. We are all part of the one. But tell me how you personally growing up, getting married, all of that, knowing your worth, finding a husband, all the things, did you believe in yourself? Like, how did you learn? And the power, obviously, of self-belief.
Yeah. I think,
right?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay. Found at a train station, get adopted, grew up in a family where my parents always believed in us. I can't even think of a time where my adopted parents didn't believe in us. They're 100% always believed in us. I think I would say it started there because that's where my brain's going. And then always believed in us. And then I went away to Bible school. Then people there always believed in us, always. So then like my faith was built, my trust, like God always believing in us, all that stuff. And then that grew. And then like being a mom, so always believing the best for my kids. And then that grew. So it's almost like just like the foundation, like a mighty oak tree. And it just gets stronger and bigger of just this.
What would you say to someone who didn't have that foundation? They didn't have parents that said, you're amazing, you're smart, you can do anything, you can be anything, you can have anything, if you believe in you. What would you tell someone? There's a lot of people walking around on the planet that did not grow up with that kind of foundation, which is ironic since you were left at a train station and who knows what could have happened. But thankfully you had a wonderful foundation minus that beginning part.
I think it just comes down to, look at me. Like I literally started dirt floors, barking dogs, no parents, nothing, rejected, abandoned. And then I just eventually chose to start believing. But like I have literally 4 years of my life that were complete like crap. And then, because they say our subconscious and all that is formed at such a young age. And so I walked with these stories. And just because.
When was the 4 years that were challenging?
Well, I would say 0 to 4.
Oh, okay.
From being in India kind of thing, of just like all of that. But I guess it's like anybody. That's a great question. I don't know. I guess it just comes down to choice. Yeah. You can change your life in an instant. You can choose to keep believing that crappy. It's what you focus on.
Yes, what you focus on grows. There's library books. There's so many books on that. Dr. Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay. There's a million books. There's podcasts that are free to listen to. Or if you have faith, like I found, I go to Chabad, I go to shul, and I learn there that I'm inherently worthy because we're a child of God. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So but embodying it and believing is, you can know it. You can like, okay, yeah, I'm a child of God. Okay. But to believe in yourself when your programming is, so what shifted for me was going to the shul, going there weekly and learning that. And also Kathy Heller's message that, you are someone, you are some of the one, you are a masterpiece, you're a piece of the master. This is like huge because when you don't make your bed or you don't take care of yourself, you're not taking care of God because we're a part of Him, right? Yep. So it's like, and that's really what I think helped me shift in the last year, 6 months. Yeah, thank you. So what?
I think it just, for me, it was just like, we've been given this beautiful life and I'm just so grateful and thankful and I'm just proud of myself. And I think it's just a self-love that I've always had. And I don't know. I've always it's just love. Like I can't, I think it's just, I've always been given like this God love and it's just inside of me and it just like bubbles up and it oozes out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
well, I just think, just from when I first met you to today, I feel like I've seen growth. And I know we both have because we grow all the time. Yeah. That's what we're here for. We're here to grow, evolve, heal, love, help others. But I just see that like you're just much happier.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's all we really want is happiness, right? It's not a pile of things, right? It's happiness. It's inner peace. It's knowing you're loved, you're guided, you're supported, you're protected. And then we don't have to hold on to the money like this because we know we're loved, guided, supported, and protected, right? So when you hold tight, you can't receive, right? When you're like this. So it's beautiful. Yeah, I feel like we could talk for a long time, but we'll... So good. Yeah, so you're welcome. So what does an abundant life look like for you now?
An abundant life looks like for me now is just being able to be present for whatever is in front of me. And I was realizing that literally a couple hours ago, earlier today, is whatever is in front of me is my assignment. Like right now, it's hang out with you and your amazing guest and whoever's listening. And then earlier, it was me laying in bed petting my cat. And then later, it will be hanging out with my kids. But like learning to be present is what abundance means to me. And I'm so thankful that gets to be what it is. Like, I'm I'm so happy.
That's so great. No, I agree 100%. That's all we have is the present. All we have is this moment. You and me right now. This is the present moment. The past is gone. Tomorrow's not here, and it's not promised. That's another thing. Our next breath isn't promised. So we need to enjoy our time here because it's not promised. Not to be negative. It's a positive. Let's enjoy this beautiful gift we're given. And no matter what your external circumstances or things that are out of your control are happening, we can choose joy. You mentioned it multiple times in this interview that you have a choice. So you get to choose gratitude. You get to, or choose happiness. And we basically do take things for granted. And when you start practicing gratitude, whether it's 3 in the morning, I like to recommend to people, because I have people around me that they're attracted to my energy because I've done all this work, right? And they're like, hey, asking me all these questions. And I say, why don't you start practice gratitude? Oh, I did that. No, it's an everyday thing, right? I do it every day. Thank you, God, for a new day. And then thank you for clean water. Thank you for healthy food. Thank you for a healthy body, or food in my fridge, and my dog, and your cats, and your kids.
Love it.
Healthy children, all the things. We have so much. Okay, wonderful. So what are you currently excited about in this season?
I'm so excited that just honestly launching my podcast again. Just like I said, season 2, organized chaos, permission granted, and having more people on it that have that vision of giving others permission, signing the permission slip, saying permission granted, go live your best life, sign off on other people's dreams and your own dreams, and just be a woman, be amazing, have amazing businesses, go do your thing. That makes me so happy. Yes. So,
I love the name. I love it. It's so fun. So if you could leave listeners with one truth about healing, worthiness, resilience, what would it be?
You are infinitely worthy of whatever dreams and desires you have. Seriously, go do it, because the world needs you in your light, in your glory. Go do the thing and stop holding back. Just go do it.
I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was just listening to something, and she was saying that, what was it? It was there's other people out there that aren't as smart as you, that aren't writing books or doing the things, and it's because they took the actions that you're not taking.
Absolutely.
And they're not as smart, they don't have as much wisdom or knowledge or whatever, and yet the only reason they have succeeded is because they made the effort, they took the actions. And we often have to be perfect, or we're not. We have stories that we tell ourselves, or procrastinate, all the things. So where can everyone connect with you, follow your podcast, and perhaps work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way would be to follow me on Instagram, shabana.knight, and we'll just put the links in the show notes.
Yes,
I think. And then again, my podcast is on all major platforms, but again, organized chaos, permission granted is the title.
I love it. Okay, thank you, Shabana. I love this, and we will talk with you very soon, and I'll let you know when this show is out.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on Worthy and Abundant. If this episode inspired you, I would be so grateful if you took a moment to leave a review. Reviews help people discover this podcast and this message. Starting soon, we'll be reading some of those reviews right here on the show. So if something you heard today resonated with you, I'd truly love to hear from you. And remember, you are worthy of a life you love, a life you dream of, and abundance is your birthright. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.